how do you know that his IQ has to be high as hell? Because how the fuck did you remember to be that articulate and that clearly spoken and like still be asked questions that you weren't prepared for, but also still get across everything you wanted to get across? Welcome to Taking It, where we talk about whatever's happening in the world.
And today we're going to be talking about Katt Williams on the Shay Club.
Club Shay.
Sassy name, but we're going to chat about it. All right, before we talk about how we feel about Katt Williams and the allegations and how he said these other comedians allegedly did a couple things, and some of them can't read. What's up with Club Shay? What's the name? What's up with Shannon? That's a sassy name. That's a really sassy name for a show for a dark-skinned fella in a tight sweater. I had to get it off my chest.
I mean, don't forget one of the best living football players there was and is.
Sassy.
He's branching out into new things.
Possibly being sassy is one of them. But what that is, like, how do you feel about Katt as a comedian, as a person?
I've always been a fan of Katt. I don't think being a black child in America, you really have a choice when you grow up in the hood.
Were you like a really big fan of him? Have you watched his comedies before?
Yeah. Watched plenty of his stand-ups and sat on the steps like when I was like 6, 7, 8. My mom be watching them because I wasn't allowed to watch them, but I sit on the steps and listen.
That's used to have with parental guidance.
A little bit.
I think so. I'm not really a big Katt Williams fan. I'm a Dave Chappelle fan, but I like Kevin Hart kind of. I think Kevin Hart really does great in other things other than comedy, in my opinion. We're not going to go there. He does good in comedy too. I think he has the most family-oriented comedy you can actually let your kids listen to. But more on Katt. I think the first time I seen him was Friday After Next.
I think so.
And then I started, that guy's kind of funny. And I think he was, I'm a boy, Damien. And that's all I remember. But I feel like after watching the interview, I got a little bit more respect for him. He's very articulate. He knows how to tell a great story. And he really knows how to, like, represent himself in, like, a pinch situation.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. I think he's a very smart guy.
Yeah, for sure. I can't even tell you where I remember Katt from. I feel like he's just always been there.
Exactly.
Like, as far back as I can remember.
Because they used to have everybody on the comedy tour, and Katt usually comes on like a comedy tour, usually comes on next with a comedy tour. He was just with the Bernie Macs and the rest of the old school comedians back then.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think my view did change him over the years. He was just an old head to me. But now I can see as an adult, I'm starting to see the perspective of an adult and just like how he thinks what real comedy is.
Yeah.
Because like how comedy is now is so different. You got the really good talented comedians and then you got the social media influencers. Because social media allows so many people to be a comedian now, quote unquote. But not everyone's different from stand-up, they're different from improv, they're different from skit.
Yeah.
And most of the social media people are all skit comedians. But Katt Williams is stand-up, and I see so many skit comedians do the worst thing possible, just jump on stage.
Yeah.
And they don't practice. And it's little of them trying to do a skit with a live audience. And the bigger the audience, the less engagement.
True.
So that's a lot more to control. But I think he still does a great job in his comedy tours. And stand-up is like I'm not saying like it's like a dying talent, but I don't think so many people don't do it as well as he does.
And you think about it now, just how social media has affected so many industries. In the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s and whatever, all of history, you had to be good and you really had to perfect your craft because you had to convince someone who watches comedians every day to let you on stage in front of an audience.
Yeah.
Or you had to audition for movies. Someone who is an expert in that industry had to allow you and give you the opportunity to show off your skills. So you really actually did have to be one of the best.
Exactly. You get one try. Now everyone has these media kits, digital media kits you can send. Right. So many other ways to make like a cheaper way to get into it. It makes it more, it takes away the gate in comedy, I think.
Right. Now you don't really have to be perfect at anything because as long as you can convince 100,000 followers that you're funny because you're in whatever their For You page gives them, you know what I mean? You fit into that. So it's going to keep giving them.
I think
due to them.
it's more so a personal brand that's being sold on the stage than actually comedy itself.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's frustrating for me because I'm a comedy fan. So I either watch comedy or action movies.
Okay.
Those are my two things. I mainly watch comedy though. I would
Okay.
rather watch comedy over any other thing.
Okay.
And it's really I'm not saying offensive. It's the fact that they're putting these influencers on stage with the 500,000, the 1 million.
Yeah.
And of course they're going to make the business the money because the people are going to come see them. They're going to get that money, but it's not comedy.
They can't tell a whole story over an hour and then jump back to it at the end.
Exactly. And we got people like Katt Williams, how he did that interview was amazing because it was just like he always had an answer for everything. He knew how to wind yourself around a story. It was great.
Yeah.
So, what else we got? What else did we see in that interview? Let's see.
We did get a bit of a dive into his upbringing.
Yeah. Apparently, all I really got from it was his dad didn't agree with his choices. Heavy church family.
Yes.
And
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah's Witnesses. So he went to Miami, which is not the best place for Jehovah's Witnesses. It is not.
He went straight to hell. Yeah.
I was like, go to hell. Like, Miami, Florida, whatever it was. That's fucked up. It's so true. Oh, man.
Definitely. Yeah, that was interesting. Because
But what do you know about Jehovah's Witnesses?
one of my best friends is Jehovah's Witness. I've been cool with a few of them over the years. The religion is, I feel, for the most part, all the Jehovah's Witnesses now follow the rules very strictly. I know that they don't celebrate any holidays. It's a very tight-knit family religion.
I kind of like seeing how they react with each other and how they engage with each other. It's such a unified church. I rarely ever seen.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of discipline. One of my friends at
Yeah.
work, she was raised as Jehovah's Witness,
Mm-hmm.
but her siblings were not. Could you imagine, like, you went through your full life and then your new siblings were not?
So what her parents
They get to get out of the church when she was like 15. So 15 years of being raised with all these
with
disciplines
no
there,
birthdays?
no nothing, and then on the 16th, you're like, oh, we get a birthday because we want to treat them different too. But here's the thing: she has so much more. I guess you can say more class.
Yeah.
She has so much more. Just a good person to be around. I can't describe it.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, they're very disciplined. I can't even.
But it's so extreme to the point where you can see when Katt Williams had to leave. Because you can't be a comedian talk about what he's talking about and being Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Okay. He never stopped. I don't want to say being religious, but he never let go of the points of being like. He never let go of living right and living with purpose and living with intention.
I think that's mainly because of what his upbringing. When you raised, I guess not.
Mhm.
I don't like using the word right because everyone's raised different.
Right.
But when you're raised with discipline,
Yes.
you don't have to unlearn a lot of stuff when you're an adult.
Exactly. Yes.
And that showed a lot.
It explained why he has always moved the way that he's moved through the industry.
Yeah.
And why you don't see him all the time, but when you do see him, you see him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I was really impressed with just the whole story about his background really gripped me because I'm like, you wouldn't have thought any of these things.
So yeah, I wouldn't have thought any of that. I was probably from the hood, probably did a couple of comedies. But here's the thing, I didn't know Kevin. It's what made me look more to comedians.
Mhm.
I didn't realize how much Kevin Hart had to give up to do what he did. I was so much more receptive. So when Katt Williams saw his story, I was like, yo, they really go through a lot and give a lot. And shoot, he started out young.
Yeah.
So many comedians are starting out when they're 33, 34, and then they
Yeah.
finally hit it big. Like, how many followers does Kevin Hart have on Instagram? I think over 100 million.
Really? Let me look it up.
Yeah, let's check real quick. Fact check me real quick. That's TikTok. You addicted to TikTok?
I am.
We got TikTok is good. I feel old just getting into TikTok. But let me see how many followers Kevin Hart has. It's insane. It's an insane amount. I can't imagine.
179 million.
179 million. We're treating these icons, these social media icons, like legends with 100,000. Like, that's insane.
It's past their time. Oh, very few OG celebrities and even musicians, comedians, whoever have transitioned into also. I feel like Snoop Dogg is one of the rare.
Man, he got African ballads. He got every different country ballads. He hang out with that thug Martha Stewart a lot.
I'm very
You gotta worry about her. Like
Right.
Snoop Dogg is the man. Like he's a really smart businessman because he owns most of, not if all his masters, he owns most of his masters, and with that, he just keeps creating.
He does, and whoever runs his Instagram is like, because it'll be somebody will send me a video and it'll be from Snoop Dogg's page, and I'm like, he didn't share this, but then all the time it'll be like some random ass video that's viral because Snoop Dogg posted it.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, and I'm like, whoever's running it, good job.
Good job, Snoop Dogg, PR, or was it social media manager? I love it.
Yeah.
So I remember one scene, an interview, he asked Katt Williams, did he get paid? Katt Williams actually paused a little bit and he said he was, and he pretty much alluded, what was it? What phrase did he use? He said yes after a 30-second pause, it felt like.
Yeah, he really hesitated answering that. I don't know. And he didn't answer. He kind of shied away from it.
Damn.
He just said that he asked Shannon if he ever fumbled the ball.
Yeah, so
during pass.
and he was trying to say, yes, he did, but it's normal to fail.
Yes.
I guess he was trying to allude it to. And it's not a big deal because someone said, oh, yeah, did you ever get booed off a stage? And here's the thing, like, yeah, I think everyone probably in their life got booed off a stage. But we got something called social proof now, where if you got, I'm keep going on this, if you got a lot of followers or you got a lot of people saying you're funny, people believe you're funny. Yeah. But back in the day, if that audience didn't think you were funny, like you were saying, you're not funny.
Right. Yes, a very good point also. He said that the only opinion that matters is the audience.
That's the truth. If you got a bunch of rednecks, you got to make jokes for a bunch of rednecks.
You do. He said that he has always taken the time to do like the first 15 minutes of his shows are always about the city. Mm-hmm. And wherever he's doing a show, he always takes time to really spend time in that city. Yeah. And he was like, when I get up there to the show, I know what I'm talking about because I've experienced it, and I'm talking with the locals and wherever.
The cool kids. Yeah. But I digress. But honorable, noteworthy mentions of this whole thing. Now, this is my favorite part. What was the package you get? You get if you do what? You get like ugly light-skinned wives, or what was the package? What was the deal? You get a light-skinned wife with a weird face and $200 million. I won't lie. I'd probably take the light-skinned wife with a weird face for $200 million.
Shannon said he'll take it too.
Damn, Shannon. We both on the same accord. I know my wife is a little weird looking, but
you know what I'm saying. I guess I don't know. They'd probably be happy with them weird face light-skinned wives that don't do interviews in 20 years.
Yeah, I think they're aliens. So what if they were like aliens or something, and they couldn't tell too much about their upbringing because they really never had one, and they're all implants on Earth? You know what I truly, genuinely, conspiracy theory, what
honestly think is that those are people that get sold and trafficked. That's why they're readily available to be sold to whoever signs up with the Illuminati. That's what I think. They're just not the pretty ones out of all of their crops, so they're the ones that they hand out for free.
That makes sense. That's like what the 1800s used to do that. We had a pretty daughter. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty smart daughter. You used to be like, all right, I gotta take her to get home. But when your other daughter was ugly as a mule, you had to be like, hey, anybody?
The color purple.
Pretty much. Damn. Mm-hmm. But like Ludacris' wife ain't even ugly.
She got a weird face.
She got a less weirder face. First, I think everybody got a weird face. In my opinion, we all got a weirdness, a funny looking face to me.
No, and that meme that they've been sharing all week. Some of them bitches' faces is
oh my god,
inexplicable.
Yo, you kissed that. That shit really crazy. I don't know if you kissed the front or back, sir.
I'm saying they probably tell you ahead of time, like it's probably in the contract that she got a weird face / ugly because he used both of those words, and they be knowing ahead of time. It was only like a couple people on that list one of them, it wasn't even his wife. And then what's his name? Mike Epps. His wife is gorgeous. I don't know why he was on the list.
Yeah, I was like, they just put him on the list because he was named.
I guess so, but his wife didn't belong on there.
And what was it? You said something about Ludacris?
Yeah. So he watched the interview and then immediately went to the studio and wrote 16 bars and recorded it and posted it on his socials because I watched it.
Yo, all right. So my thing is this, right? If this guy and Kevin Hart was hurt a little bit too, and Kevin Hart pretty much like, yo, you got a lot of hate in your heart. He said the most nicest way, Kevin Hart.
Of course, he has to stick to his brand.
Good job, Kevin.
You know,
But
he said Kevin was an industry plant and all this stuff because who comes out with their first movie and it's funded and they get to be the main character of the movie. And I thought about that a little bit, and I might be a little bit. I can't tell if we're like in the demographic for Kevin Hart or if we're a little bit younger than the demographic for Kevin Hart.
we're right in the we're in the middle. No, we got hit. Like Kevin Hart started to actually be big when we were in high school. You remember?
No.
In
I don't remember him until,
2007, 2010-ish, 2011-ish, all that time, like he started popping.
So maybe I was late to the crowd. Because I do remember watching Soul Plane when it first came out. I don't remember Paper Soldiers.
Here's the thing. Like, all right, that's my thing with Kevin Hart. He's a businessman.
He is.
So he has the most products and offers out of all the comedians period. He has shows, he has audio books, he has books, he has a whole production company. They don't have that. They're just a personal brand.
Well,
but yeah, think about
that's his talent. Like that's his other talent. Like he got in being a comedian, but that's not like he's multi-talented.
Exactly. Then he also he came in older, a little older than some of these comedians. He came in 30s? He came in his 30s. He's only been a comedian for 50 years. I read his a little book about it. Yeah. He came in his 30s, and that's rare, ain't it? Like you see, and that's not rare. Like a lot of people, a lot of undiscovered comedians come in their 30s to 40s, and they don't start popping until their 40s. Yeah. He just popped a little younger. And what his thing was this: he was in Philly. He was going to Philly clubs, didn't get much love, and someone was like, "Bro, stop complaining and go to New York." And that's how he started getting big because he stopped complaining and going to New York. I'm a Kevin Hart audiobook fan and a Kevin Hart book fan.
I've always been a Kevin Hart fan. I've never questioned whether he was the industry plant or not. I've never questioned about how big he got because I blindly support Kevin Hart because he was from Philly.
Or he can really make a good PowerPoint to sell his point.
Either way.
But with the Ludacris thing, you shouldn't be firing back at my man. If it wasn't that for, I would have said nothing. If he's really trying to get
defend his wife. He said his wife was ugly. And the whole internet geeking at it. You gotta say something.
I guess. He still do her. She must not be that ugly.
Katt Williams still single. He explained why he's single, but
what was his reason?
He don't need a wife.
No. That sounds like a hating ass single person thing to say.
I'm cracking up. No, you know what? He really I don't know how to explain it. He said so many interesting things.
I used to think he was a little feminine. Katt. Nah. But then I also was like, he may be a pimp.
I'm cracking up. It was the perms. That's why you thought
the perms.
But only a man who truly walks in his own masculinity can rock a perm. And slap the shit out you at the same time.
I'll never want to be smacked with a nigga with a perm. But with that, all right, so what was your favorite part of the interview? Closing thoughts.
I really liked how he explained his version of being a feminist.
He's a feminist?
In his own way. He talked about, I don't know, he just...
Oh, yeah, with the Taraji?
No! The fact that if he has a team, there's only a certain amount of things that a man can do that a woman can do. And generally, a woman can do it better. So he'd rather have them do it. If he got to have a team that he got to talk to in the morning, you know, when I smell a bunch of niggas' breaths, he'd rather smell women's breath. He hasn't rolled a blunt in 20 years. And to roll a blunt, you need saliva. And he don't want to smoke a nigga's saliva every day. So a woman has been rolling his blunts for years.
I guess.
So he hasn't been married, but he always has women around him.
He got any kids?
He has 10 kids. He has 5 girls and 5 boys. Seven of them are adopted.
Okay, so he got 3. That's so nice. So he's a family man. He helps with adoption, which is really good. It's a big crisis. Yeah.
Because he was talking about he was a child, homeless at some point, and what if he had to be responsible for his younger siblings at that time? He was out and fucked up, so he saved kids who was out and fucked up.
I like that.
Yeah. there was a lot to be commended. Some people, they really live and walk in their truth. I had the same conversation with somebody who was trying to understand Keith Lee, and I'm like, thinking about it too hard. Like, some people, when they talk, you believe them because they live in it. You know what I mean? They might disappoint you one day, but still.
They backing it up. I don't want to be seen as a positive influence at all, because as soon as I do one thing, like forget to pay for a can of soup or some shit, y'all I'm like, yo, this guy is the worst person ever. He's cheating the bitch out of his money. And that's how they be like. They be ready to rip your head off. You cut celery wrong. There's no wrong way to cut celery, but
right. Whatever your brand is, as long, you know what I mean, you live in what your brand is. You set and let everybody know who you are up front. Nobody's gonna be upset that.
As you saying, Katt Williams does this. He's what his brand is.
Right. He might not have been able to understand it fully, or only the people who are paying attention and really listening to him understood it this whole time. But now, apparently, everybody's interested in not even him just bashing a lot of people, also just getting to hear women speak about who himself, who he is, because it's getting about 100,000 views an hour.
God damn.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp with the right person today. Interviewed the right person today.
You told him that too.
Here's my thing is, he walks in, he says, Shannon, I got some things to tell you. And he just, first 30 minutes, it's just on everybody's ass. I looked at the time, I was like, all right, this interview should be over right now. I looked 35 minutes after all that.
You still got 2 hours and 15 minutes left.
Exactly. I was like, yo.
Yeah. It didn't get boring for 1 second.
He's a really great. He's a really good interviewee.
This is how you know that his IQ has to be high as hell. Because how the fuck did you remember to be that articulate and that clearly spoken, and like still be asked questions that you weren't prepared for, but also still get across everything you wanted to get across?
Yeah, I also think he did comedy specials.
True, you do have to be able to think about. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Comedy specials are really like, yo.
Yeah.
There's no break on a comedy special.
Yeah, that's true. You have to remember everything that you're going to say for a whole hour.
Yeah.
This was 3 hours.
Yeah, so I say he's paid off.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a good point. So, those are my thoughts. I thought it was a great interview. Very informative. And check it out.
Yeah, so let us know how you like it. Definitely watch the whole interview and like, share, subscribe, and let us know what you like. And let us know where we can improve. And check us out on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching.
Yes, thanks for watching Taking It.